Welcome to the Undercurrent, your source for grassroots news. I'm Lauren Windsor. In this show, I'll talk about how a city in Northern California is using eminent domain to stem the foreclosure crisis, the two investment firm CEOs who are suing to stop it, and then I'll wrap up with a sneak peek at my latest music video parody. In Richmond, California, nearly half of all homeowners with mortgages are underwater, in some cases owing up to 4 times the market value of their homes. Given the lack of substantive federal action on principal mortgage reduction, and in the face of an ongoing foreclosure crisis, Mayor Gayle McLaughlin and City Councilor Jovanka Beckels have decided to act locally, using the municipal right of eminent domain. They are joined in the effort by the Alliance of Californians for Community Empowerment, the Home Defenders League, and a private underwriter called Mortgage Resolution Partners, which is based in San Francisco's East Bay. Here's the plan. The city buys highly distressed properties at a fair market value from the mortgage servicers, then works with the homeowner to refinance at the lower value. The participation of the banks is critical, and so far they've refused to negotiate. Richmond has offered to buy 626 properties that are severely underwater. Should the banks continue to stonewall, the city will invoke eminent domain to seize the properties and force the principal reduction of the mortgage to its fair market value. From the outcry of the financial industry, you might think that Richmond was experimenting with some radical communist initiative. However, it's neither radical nor innovative. Eminent domain was used during the Great Depression. According to that lefty radical rag Bloomberg News, in fact, the city's plan relies not on a novel use of eminent domain, but on one endorsed by the conservative Supreme Court of 1935. And although there is a long history of excessive use of eminent domain, Richmond's plan has no place in it. Nonetheless, the big players in the bond markets are angry that they're being forced to accede to the demands of a small city in California. Before they fight City Hall, the plaintiff should appreciate that use of eminent domain to seize intangible assets, like mortgages, has a solid history. Federal courts have long sanctioned the taking of everything from shares of stock to contract rights, insurance policies, and even hunting rights. The investment firms BlackRock and PIMCO are suing the city and MRP to stop the initiative from moving forward, citing the negative impact on investors like pension funds. Larry Fink and Bill Gross appeared together at a CNBC forum for the UCLA Anderson School of Management. Protesters from ACE and SEIU disrupted the event in order to call attention to the pending lawsuit.
Why do I not negotiate?
Listen.
Throw the bum out.
No, it's fine, guys. It's fine. He's got a valid point. He's got it.
Why are you suing the city of Richmond instead of negotiating? Negotiate, don't litigate. Your time is coming. Your day of reckoning is coming. Don't jump. Go with me.
Pointing to their fiduciary responsibility to investors, Mr. Fink and Mr. Gross answered host Brian Sullivan's "How do you fix it?" question in fairly broad economic terms.
I want to actually follow up on their points in a way, okay? Because you don't obviously like the way the message is delivered, but the anger at Wall Street is palpable, okay? And rightfully so in a lot of cases. People are frustrated by the system. Now, you guys have both said you're not Wall Street, okay? You're asset managers, asset gatherers. You're not short-term volatility traders. I worry this lack of confidence in the financial system by millions of Americans, by many, many people, who probably have a damn good right to be angry about a lot of things. How do we fix that?
Well, you fix it in several ways. You do fix it with regulation, and there's a legitimate debate and dispute as to how much and how far to go. But you do, inch back, I suppose, to the days in which investment banks and banks were separate entities, as opposed to banks these days, employing, trading for their own books and therefore putting depositors' savings at risk. I mean, that's the principle here. So you do re-regulate with the hope that you don't go so far that the spirit of lending, the spirit of capitalism on the part of banks, on the part of BlackRock, on the part of PIMCO, basically is impeded, and that's a delicate balance. But that's certainly.
Should we bring back Glass-Steagall?
No. The Richmond case is Bill discussed. It's mortgages But the case not only is, the use of eminent domain for mortgages instead of real property is one thing that's quite questionable, and that's why we have a suit on this. But two, it's breaking down quite a bit of what we would consider contract law. So obviously it's going to go to the courts, the judge is going to review it, and we'll find out who's right. But from our perspective, and keep in mind, our suits, and we're representing many other firms, including many other governmental agencies are part of it. Fannie and Freddie are part of this too, where we haven't let any other people doing it. But let's be aware of one thing. We're doing this on behalf of our clients. This is not on behalf of PIMCO and BlackRock. We're doing this for the pension funds that are invested in this. We're doing it for the individual mutual fund holders who have invested this. We are acting as a fiduciary on behalf of our clients.
I wanted to know how they would specifically address the foreclosure crisis in Richmond without writing down principal on mortgages.
Hi, Mr. Fink. How are you? My name is Lauren Windsor. I have an undergraduate degree in business, and also I'm a reporter for Ian Masters' Background Briefing. I just wanted to ask you a question and follow up to Mr. Sullivan's earlier question. When he asked you, how do you fix the problem of what happened with Richmond and your lawsuit against the Richmond government, how would you fix it? You can contact our office. That'd be great. Mr. Gross. Hi. Very nice to meet you. My name is Lauren Windsor, and I'm a reporter with Undercurrent and Background Briefing. I just wanted to expound on his question from earlier. I think you guys answered that how do you fix the foreclosure problem in a broader context? And so I just wanted to know, how do you address the problem of foreclosure specifically within the city of Richmond if you're not going to write down principles?
Wait 1 second. No recording.
Bottom line, investment firms have a fiduciary responsibility to their investors, and the government has a fiduciary responsibility to its constituents. The foreclosure crisis, both in Richmond and nationally, underscores the fallacy of a self-regulating free market. We cannot rely on the charity of Wall Street financiers, whom time and again have proven to act in ways beneficial only to their bottom line. It is incumbent upon politicians to take decisive action for the common good. Failing to do so will mean that this country further slides into free market fascism. Speaking of free market fascists, here's a sneak peek at my upcoming music video parody, Ted Cruz Sings Miley Cyrus. I'm Lauren Windsor. Thanks for watching. Get pulled in to the undercurrents.
We clawed, we chained our hearts in vain. We jumped, never asking why. We kissed, I fell under your spell. A love no one could deny. Don't you ever say I just walked away. I will always want you. I can't live a lie running for my life. I will always want you. I came in like a wrecking ball. I never hit so hard in love. All I wanted was to break you off. All you ever did was wreck me. Yeah, you wrecked me. Undercurrent under the surface makes the mainstream get so nervous. It's time for purpose, for news to serve us, not with propaganda they use to hurt